Chapter 39 Finding Home. When last met, the Menagerie was stirring awake in Perseus's hut, waiting for Domitianus to recover. Leste made sure to get food for her exhausted brood, but other than that, all they did was wait. Eventually, a few hours after noon, Domitianus came to. Their entire body was sore or in pain, but they were alive and in a state to talk. Leste continued the conversation on where the Menagerie was going to next, but both Perseus and Domitianus interrupted. With Domitianus's corruption, they were at a point where if they tried to use their magic again, their body and soul would split. For now, all they should do was rest. No one was better equipped at helping Domitianus than Perseus, and the two of them were happy to reunite, so to Domitianus, it seemed right for them to stay here. The Menagerie understood and accepted this, and let Domitianus go back to sleep. Shortly after they went unconscious, Perkring left, with Leste and Macha following them. Quietly and solemnly, he picked at the ground, looking for shinies with little to no motivation to find anything. While he pecked, the two comforted him, sharing in his sadness, but assuring him that this was for the best, and Domitianus would not be forgotten. He lamented how he would not get to fly with his bird squad, then turned and hugged the two of them. From here, he wanted to process things on his own, so Perkring went to a local tavern to drink his sorrows away, one orange juice at a time. Macha returned to Perseus's hut, and Leste skulked to the guard headquarters. She did not want to leave one she considered her brood behind, but she knew it was for the best. So instead, she tried to compromise. At the guard headquarters, she asked Captain Derek for a favor. For stopping the druid in the forest from killing his people, she needed a sending stone. To him, this was trivial, so without a second thought, he led her to the ones he had on hand and let her take a pair. After some consideration, she picked up a pair of opal feathers, a color that matched both of her bird's feathers. After this, Leste returned to the hut, and later yet, Perkring stumbled back as well. All may have gotten rest, but not all stayed. Deep into the hours of night, Nixie excused herself from the city and walked into the forest. She wanted to truly be alone, so she leaned her staff upon a tree and walked further into the forest, where she was welcomed by a lake. She knelt at the shore and prayed to her mom, communing to her simply by talking to the wind. Nixie asked why she was abandoned, and a warm breeze picked up, enough that a nearby tree had some of its fruit fall. She approached the tree, and young birds in the branch caught her attention. She saw a mother taking care of her young, and she understood. She said to her mom that she could say hello whenever she wanted, then thanked her for listening. As she departed, she could not help but feel she saw the tree waving to her goodbye. Eventually, morning rose with Perkring's exhausted call, and the Menagerie got prepared for their travel. Once they were ready, everyone collected around Domitianus to give their goodbyes and final gifts. Nixie collected seeds from her bag, then made them sprout into lavender for Domitianus to have in their tea. Perkring gave Domitianus one final egg, and Domitianus reciprocated by giving the smaller bird one of his black feathers. He cherished this and stuck it in his tail feathers alongside all of the cat toys he had. Leste then took out a shard of Cowan's egg and explained why she had not given anyone in the party one yet. In Valhera, it was considered strange to give an egg shard to a brood member, as it was expected that the brood help its young. She recognized, though, that she was not in Valhera, and that technically, maybe its menagerie was not a brood. So she asked Domitianus to simply hold on to the shard she held, promising to return it if they ever reunited. Domitianus asked if she was sure she wanted to do this, and when she nodded, they took the palm-sized shard. As a final gift, Leste asked both of her birds to hold out their hands, and in them she placed the sending stones she got from Derek. Perkring was ecstatic about the shiny, while an exhausted Domitianus thanked them all for the gifts. Quietly and timidly, Cowan approached Domitianus, sitting in front of them, and Domitianus took a knee to match his gaze. With him not knowing any words to express how he felt, all he could do was put his temple against Domitianus' forehead to show his love. As Perkring calmed down from the shiny, he chimed up, saying once flock, always flock, reassuring Kaun they would meet again. With their love shared and their farewells given, maybe its menagerie got a bit smaller, only for a small kobold to follow them while they headed off to the guard headquarters. Kino explained how he wanted to explore Amaranthine and asked if anyone had an issue with him tagging along. When all welcomed his presence, Kaun invited him to ride on his back as they made their way to tell Derek of their departure. He thanked them one last time for all they did, then gave them a farewell blessing in the name of Kulid. On the road, they agreed that the best destination to go to from here was Iran. The travel took only 2 days, needing only one rest before reaching the city. During the rest, Perkring and Joker spent the first watch trying to teach the Kenko his own voice, to no avail. On the second watch, Leste told Kaun how his story was going to be the most important she would ever tell, with the dragon having difficulty recognizing his own importance. As she was telling him this, she saw the image of a fallen over tree with an owl on it in the campfire. She thanked Ludia for spending time with her menagerie once again, then lamented how she could not talk to them. Before Ludia responded, a second owl flew into the image and patted the first on its head, then flew off. Ludia looked nervous, then flew off, following the second owl. Not being able to discern what this could mean, she could only speculate as the third watch started with Kino and Maka. For most of the night, Kino openly prayed to the god of death, fascinating Maka. She admired any worship, but to a god so unknown, she felt compelled to take notes on the prayer, even if they were relatively standard prayers. After a final day of travel, the menagerie reached Iran, a smaller city that had a brilliant courtyard of stained glass. These myriad of colors enthralled Perkring, who took out his own shinies to dazzle them in the sunlight alongside the glass. This display of light gathered many onlookers, especially after Perkring convinced Maka to fly him on her broom to cast more light below. With that, let us continue.